Once again, I'm gonna let y'all in on how I move, how I'm thinking, what I do it for.
Lit, ready, that drip heavy, the vibe wavy. Them people's plotting, they hopscotching and trying to play me, Need you overstand my motor plans. Joe Draco on his soldier stance. I do it for this lit, ready, that drip heavy, the vibe wavy. Them people's plotting, they hopscotching and trying to play me. Need you overstand my motor plans. Joe Draco on his soldier stance. I do it for the money, do it for respect. Do it for the homies in the hood that you rap. Do it for the thotties, do it for the flex. Do it for the haters thinking Drizzy be upset. Say less and get your money. Do it for respect. Do it for the homies in the hood that you rap. Do it for the thotties, do it for the flex. Do it for the haters thinking Drizzy be upset. Say less. Do it for the homies I lost, the phonies I crossed, the loved and the lonely ignored. If only resolved for the crowds that owe me applause, standing no bait. The trap of the plug, the middleman's hand in the way, the stands and the flakes, the scams and the snakes, the plans to escape. The cousins I love them but won't give them a chance to relate. The man's
Yo. What it do? What it be like? Hope you're cool. Hope the tree right.
Hey,
It is
6/26/19, people.
Yo, we got a great episode coming for y'all today, dog. I am one half your host, Joe Moff.
Cool Hunter.
And we got the homie. The big homie.
Oh, man. We got our producer on the show. I'm about to grab my headphones in a minute. Hold on. I'm getting myself together.
We got the homie, Rodney Nizzle.
What it do, people?
Yeah.
Y'all fucked up now.
Yeah. We've been trying to get the nigga on the show for a minute, dog. We've been seeing him on everybody else's show. He ain't want to do
No, it ain't like that.
Okay, all right.
I be doing a lot of technical behind the scenes stuff for y'all.
He's the producer, people.
You know what I'm
Keyword
saying?
producer.
Then they called me out, called my manhood out.
Yeah,
and all that,
yeah,
so
yeah,
I figured I'd
yeah.
slide through.
Yeah.
Call these niggas out on some of the dumb shit they be saying on that show.
Yeah.
I can't say what I'm waiting.
Some of the dumb
back.
shit.
So I figured I'd slide through, set these niggas straight real quick.
That's real love. Appreciate that.
Rodney, glad you're here, bro.
Well, we was having a great little conversation outside.
Amazing conversation.
And it all started because I was selling the homie Hunter. I was like, bruh, the NBA draft made me do something, made me break one of my rules that I've been saying on the show. That's been a number one rule of mine, my nigga. If I had man law rules that I had already laid down from the beginning of Krown 360 to now, one of those rules already broke, all because of the NBA draft. And that was a nigga cried in front of his girl. Shit. I ain't even gonna lie. Nigga, if you watch the NBA draft, my nigga, you got a heart, you was crying too, nigga. That shit was beautifully put together, sad music. It was a beautiful thing, man. It was everything that you probably want to see if you was into the storylines and shit like that, man. They really sold that shit.
So which storyline are we talking about from the NBA draft?
And I'm glad you came up with that question right there, brother, because I was telling you the speciality about this draft was the fact that I seen, at least from the first, I would say at least out of the first 5 or 6 picks, 3 of those guys, those brothers, or 4 of those brothers went up there and they came back, and the first person they hugged or the first person they brought up to talk when they was interviewed was their fathers. And I thought, and it was
that was dope.
It was dope, bro. It was dope. And Roddy, you can attest to this. I mean, if you seen this shit that I seen for like at least the last 20 some odd years, the only narrative that's been pumped through the NBA was the single black mother and having the struggle with
KD, Bron,
AI. The list goes on and on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
but let me salute to the black moms.
That's who. Oh yeah.
They been holding it down.
Yeah, facts.
Facts.
We ain't doing that. No.
It's always Mother's Day. It's always Mother's Day.
I was just saying though, like just to see that, like. Cause you can tell when you seeing brothers cry, you see fathers holding up their sons saying, "I couldn't do this without you, Dad," and like that shit had me calling my father, "Love you, Dad." You know what I'm saying? Like, but and I was telling Hunter like how beautiful it was, but I was seeing people saying that they was trying to say, "Oh, this is the evolution. We're seeing something new. The times are progressing. This is the evolution of man. Men are not afraid to show their feelings," and I was like, Nah, you motherfuckers is finally seeing a black father and a black son on TV being happy. Nigga, like this ain't
dynamic.
Yeah. And I was telling Hunter how important that is to be seen. We don't. It's so foreign that we letting people control the narrative now. But nah, bro, like that's what a father and son, black father and son look like when because they crying because they happy about all the struggle and all the dedication that them two had to put together. Because like all them sons said, I couldn't do this without you. I didn't do this alone. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it was a beautiful thing, you know what I'm saying? And that's what everybody was saying. It wasn't no new evolution of the man and shit with the times.
Well, all I was saying was, again, why is the platform of the NBA, a standard of fatherhood amongst the black community? You know what I'm saying?
Nah. Who said it was a standard?
I'm not saying it is a standard. You know what I'm saying? But I'm throwing that, like devil's advocate question out there. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, I understand what you're saying. But no matter if we see it there or not, we understand what we're dealing with in America. So, how is seeing, the number 2 draft pick walk across the stage gratifying with his father, in a sense? You know what I'm saying? Is it that important or is it not? Just throwing that curveball out there.
No,
I
think everything has a significance. I mean, whether it's important or not, that's due to the observer.
Right.
But the significance that I saw of it was that I had hoop dreams growing up, and I watched probably every NBA draft from 8 to 23. You know what I'm saying? 24. Mm-hmm. And I can only count on one hand that many fathers that I've seen. Or the stories about like
8 to 24, huh?
Yeah. Grant Hill, Michael Jordan.
Right.
But these are one or two, you know what I'm saying, Shaq. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But it's been but I can tell you I can tell you a whole list of single moms there. So that's what I'm saying.
But just getting drafted is just such a blessing to the family, right?
I mean, cause come on, man, it's life changing. We know, we know. If somebody
the millions coming,
bro. The millions coming, but bro, we ain't gonna. What I'm not gonna do is act like it. That was easy with those guys accomplished. It's not easy. You know what I'm saying? If that was dedication, and I think that's what we be missing out on a lot of times. Is that it's a lot of fathers that it's not like LeVar Ball. That's not exploiting the time that their sons having right now. But they actually been a strong force in the background, elevating their sons in the background. You know what I'm saying? As I feel like it's how it should be done in the right way in the first place. You know what I mean?
I got you.
What you think about that,
Rodney? Where you at?
No, I mean it's dope. I think first of all, like with all the NBA players whose sons are in the league now.
Yeah.
And it's not just that's one dynamic of it. Mm-hmm. Well, if you got Clay, you got Steph, you got who else is it?
I mean, there's a lot of players.
There's other cats whose father.
Kenyon Martin's son coming up in the ranks.
Yeah. Bobo just got drafted.
He just got drafted.
Yeah. Abdul, what's his name?
Manubo.
Rahim. He got a son coming.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Like so. I mean, so that's one kind of.
Yeah, that's a good one. Right.
But I think that's also showing just the new wave of black parenting where fathers and mothers are having their kids involved in sports and activities and pushing them. It ain't like it's not like it's ball or out or nothing. Ball or jail.
Mm-hmm.
It's like no, it's ball or I got some options.
Yeah.
They've been exposed to it.
Yeah.
And these players. Excuse me. A lot of them have resources behind it. So they've played the AAU circuit.
There you go.
They've had personal trainers since they was 9.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like a lot of the cats, the younger cats, it was just you had a ball.
Yeah.
It was a different grind with basketball.
Yeah. Like I'm trying to make it.
Yeah. Or nothing else is gonna work.
If I don't get this ball don't go through, I ain't going to college.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be at the mill. Well,
Okay. So this is a way that we can layer and spin this conversation, right?
Hold on, before you do that, I want you to do that.
You didn't know which way I was about to spin.
But not because I just want to ask you.
Go ahead though. I'm just saying.
One thing I saw that I said these guys was messing up on is a lot of guys were there with their girlfriends. And I thought that's
a whole. We didn't even speak on that.
Yeah, that was a pivotal mistake, and that's why I wanted to stop you before I forget.
Okay,
I feel like that was a pivotal mistake.
Hey, hold up! Shout out to Nessa, man. We got Nessa.
Yeah, Nessa in the back. Dog, I was like, bro, Why would you bring your girlfriend to the NBA draft, nigga?
Why do you have a girlfriend?
They know no better.
They know all these are kids.
Know no
That's what
These
I'm
are
saying.
kids,
They in
man.
love.
It's layers to that one.
When you in love,
Which way you want to go on that one?
when you in love, you know, no girl, we're gonna be together forever. It's gonna be me and you against the
Forever.
world, back to back, baby.
Bruh, I was like, they sitting there, and I was like, bruh, y'all brothers is really fucking up. These girls is gonna take y'all for all y'all got. Oh, but a lot of them women already had kids by them brothers though. A lot of them already, they already done put the
They
stamp
smart.
down. Yeah, they already put the stamp down. You know what I'm saying?
If you try to leave me, you want
Foresight wasn't there.
We still getting that bag.
Yeah. Whether we together or not.
I said,
And we speaking French. We talking about we.
We still getting
Right.
We out this motherfucker.
But go ahead, honey. How you want to spend that drink?
I wasn't thinking about that. But you
I
threw
know
me
I
off a
fucked
little
you
bit.
up, but that shit fucked me up when I was watching it. I was like, damn, bro, like y'all niggas is loafing, son. Like y'all supposed to come alone, my nigga.
Right,
Like,
I got you. Okay, so you know the whole.
You're like they couldn't see more TV.
Hold on.
yeah. Put them in the back.
You told me you was at your grandma's.
No, they cashing out. They was like, yeah, you see me on TV for a reason.
Yeah, facts.
But the single mother narrative can touch on the topic of where the father is in that role on that stage, on that special stage when you get to the point where you the first draft pick, you know, the second, third, fourth, whatever, you know, let's say you in the lottery, wherever. Mm-hmm. And it's you and your mother, you know, like what's the reason why that father wasn't there? Or is there a different narrative of where the father is there and the mother isn't there? You know, we generally don't see that in the NBA. You know what I'm saying? From that gratifying standpoint of being that draft pick. Because we talked about LeBron. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? We talked about AI's story. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? We talked about some real, you know, stories where you saw the fatherless kid really get to the heights of what a lot of young black males see as success. Mm-hmm. How does the father factor into that role? We see him when he's not there. What are the different ways we can talk about why or his impact, you know, there or not? You know what I'm saying? Some of the things we talked about.
We don't really know the specifics of why every individual father is not
No,
there.
and we don't need to.
Yeah.
But we can still speak towards the fact that, you know, it's gratifying to see the mother, you know, or the young boy cross the stage when his mother was there. Mm. You know what I'm saying? But is it a real situation where his father was absent just because? Or is it a different narrative where you can spin on it? You know what I'm saying? Like,
If your father coming to the draft, I ain't coming. I'll tell you right now.
But I'm saying I don't really know how to answer that. You know what I'm saying? But one thing that I can say though is that is the father being there or father not being there is definitely a significance. Because one thing that I say though is that I always say that whether your father was good or bad, you know what I'm saying, that's your favorite word, subjective, right? But at least he was there, you know what I'm saying? Because you can see, I think that it's powerful to see what not to do just as much as seeing what to do. You know what I'm saying? I think that's just as powerful.
Yeah,
I think if the father's not there, then you know what I'm saying that the son got to grasp some straws and learn from his peers, or you know what I'm saying. That's a whole nother a rabbit hole. You know what I'm saying. So if a father there or not, I mean father good or not, as long as he's there, I think that's a major significant role.
Hey, Rodney, do you think the fact that if a father is simply present, that he's always supportive, he's always there as a, you know, a factor to kind of build off of, you know what I'm saying, in the sense that we're talking about?
I think that fathers are people. So I think that it's a fact that if you're trying and you're doing the best that you can under your certain circumstances, you know, I want to as from a father figure, I want to see presence, but I also want to see growth. You know, so if you're trying, you come into, you know, you go from I ain't coming to some games I'm missing, I'm drunk, I'm fucked up or whatever, and then you start getting you know, making more games. Okay, I stopped drinking, I'm doing this, you know, if you're growing and developing, because you're human. Right. So you're going, you know, I don't expect no father or mother to be perfect. Yeah. But if you're so it's no perfect scenario. Right. But if you're trying, I applaud you.
My man, I agree.
And not bullshitting. You know, not that making them excuses. You know, I'm gonna pick you up next week, and then you don't lose saying that shit for 10 years. You know, but just, you know, but if you trying, you honestly trying, make an honest effort, you do something good. You might mess up, but then you do something good. If you trying,
Right.
That's what I'm gonna applaud.
I agree with that nigga. What you think? Answer your own question, man.
Yeah, I think to me, I think it's definitely layers and levels to it, but I think from a legacy standpoint, because we talked about legacy too, you know what I'm saying, about, and we can kind of spin this conversation out of just the sports realm, you know what I'm saying, and into a realm of fatherhood where you really got to make decisions about being supportive or not, or does your son or child make a stance in life that you don't agree upon? To where
That's an interesting conversation.
Yeah. We was talking about this.
We was talking about this. So
bro.
we kind of gave y'all the surface layer of it with the sports analogy. Now we go into a different layer. Okay. What happens when I don't have the same ideologies or viewpoints as religion as you? You're a Christian and I'm not. You know what I'm saying? I'm dealing with that in my own family.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So what happens when we talk about your diet might be different or your relationship stance might be different?
Right. So what I was telling him outside when I asked that, I said it's a difference of opinions and ethics, right?
Opinions and ethics.
So what I was saying is, if I got opinions about if I have an opinion about what you're doing, right? That's one thing. But if what you're doing is a total opposite of the ethics that I taught you as my child.
Shout out to the mosquito flying through this motherfucker.
That's a motherfucking problem. That's a problem though. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because the ethics of who I am should be passed down to my child, right? So if you're doing something that goes against the shit that I taught you, that's the moral fiber of who we are.
To what extent is what's passed down law or mandatory or something that should always be duplicated and not?
I mean,
that's the question.
That's something that everybody has to answer for themselves. You know what I'm saying? Because for me, like no job shit, all that other shit can be talked about. Job, all that, that's bullshit. But we talk about right or wrong, but not even right or wrong, because that's subjective too. But when I'm talking about, and that's what I'm talking about. Who I am. Who I am
that's
is
the question,
certain
though.
morals and codes and ethics and characteristics that has to be passed down because I got the joint. My father had it before him.
Right.
Therefore, I will pass it down to
the
my
baton.
son. Yeah, you know what I mean?
So what happens when let's use a common difference amongst masculinity, homosexuality.
Okay.
What happens when your son or daughter has a sexual preference or lifestyle that's opposite of yours?
Right. And the crazy part about it is,
where do your parental guidelines go then?
Now, you would like to answer that before I go to
see what I'm saying? Let's pose the question.
Because
I'm
gonna say
devil's advocate nature.
I'm gonna knock that thing out.
Let's talk about it.
This is my stance on this. I don't have a son.
Okay.
So I think on sons and daughters is a little different, but. I just think, like, first of all, when you're like this new movement of, okay, don't call Johnny him. Don't call.
Yeah.
No, bring his ass over here. That's how it's gonna be until don't pick for the kid that their gender.
Yeah.
You need to be neutral.
Gender neutral. Yeah.
Give him a peach bedroom, don't blue or
yeah.
No, fuck that. He's a boy. His shit gonna be blue.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call him, and he's gonna bring his little ass over here when I call him.
Right.
So when you're rearing a child, that's how my philosophy.
Rearing. You heard the word rearing?
Yeah.
Rear equal whooping ass. So when you whooping ass, that's my philosophy.
Yeah.
But however, once the child gets to a point and they make a choice and they're old enough to make a choice for themselves, and they say, "Hey, Pop, this is what I am," I don't really have any control over that. I put my work in up to that point.
Yeah.
And if they and there's other things than parenting that influences kids. Mm-hmm. So if some other situations outside influences have influenced my child and they're homosexual or whatever, I'm gonna love them. I'm gonna love them just as much as I would in any other scenario. I might not agree with it.
So the conditions of how they become or they decide to live a certain lifestyle matters, is what you're saying?
No. I'm just saying.
Or I'll pose that question to all of us.
I'm not, as a parent, I'm not open enough to be like, you know, whatever you want is fine with me. I'm not that open. I'm an old nigga. I'm not there. You know what I'm saying? But I'm along the lines, you playing ball. That's what we doing.
Yeah,
Right. This is how it's gonna go.
Yeah.
You know, and then now if they come along and no, I don't want to do that. I want to do ballet or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. If they come to me and say that,
Yeah.
that's
Fuck ballet is what he said.
That's what they gonna do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I'm gonna support them.
Right,
If they
right.
say, hey, you know, Dad, this is how I am. I'm gonna be like, my heart gonna drop. You know, I'm gonna have to pray. You know, I'm gonna have to, work through some stuff. But at the end of the day, I'm gonna love him just the same, him or her just the same. And look, I might not agree with it. I might not understand the shit, but kids, you love unconditionally. That shit is real.
Hold on. It's go ahead, Joe.
Unconditionally.
Unconditionally? That's exactly what we're talking about.
But this is one thing I would
That's
say.
exactly what we're talking
But
about.
this is what I'm saying about
Conditions.
love.
And this is me personally. So I ain't gonna be disowning. Don't you get out of my house,
The context of what we're saying is conditionally.
Like you have a son and you see him sneaking a young lady out the back, he might be, son, don't do that no more.
Yeah.
But he's sneaking a little boy out there. God damn it, I'm saying it.
Exactly. Okay.
So I ain't gonna say I'm all the way there, but you love and then you try. Like it goes back to trying. You try to.
You see how he's trying to pacify what he's saying?
Because I ain't trying shit.
He's bullshit.
I ain't trying shit. Now, let me
You're
say
saying I don't want my son to be.
Nah. Let me break it down.
My
to you,
bad,
right?
my bad.
So this is what I was trying to say, right?
Right.
That I think that we give the world too much power, and we don't put enough power in understanding who we are individually and collectively. Because when you have a man and a woman that's working together with the same objective, then a lot of times than not, the world can't come and infiltrate that. You know what I'm saying? And what I'm saying is, a lot of the reasons why we see the elements of what we're talking about right now in abundance is because the home has been fractured. So a lot of that stuff now is you have TV, you have a lot of things it's influencing and actually, what's the word you use? Heard? What's the word you use? The word you raising. You didn't say raising. Rearing. When kids are being reared. You know what I'm saying?
I just said that a couple of weeks ago, and you was like, "Man, is that a word?"
Yeah.
Slight digression.
Yeah.
I'm not going too far. Go ahead.
But what I'm saying is, you got a lot of other things that's influencing the child in other stronger ways because it's not a home structure there. So what I'm saying is, if I have if my home is built and structured with a 1 and 2 punch that's on the same page, man and woman, and the ethics that we pass down to our children, right? That shit is gonna be concreted in the spirit of our kids, bro. So what I'm saying is, certain things is not gonna be flexible for my masculine spirit, bro. And I got that. That's not something that I'm teaching to be flexible to my children. And there's nothing wrong in my black masculinity to teach that to my children, bro.
Absolutely not.
And that's actually furthering and strengthening up my legacy. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we as black people and black men are supposed to be out here doing, being fruitful and building legacy.
Add the fruitful part.
Oh yes.
But hold on. Let me say this though.
Let's go.
What I'm saying is, and to add a wrinkle into it, is like I was telling you outside. I don't have children. I haven't had kids yet.
Okay.
But I am a son.
Congratulations.
Exactly right. I am a son. I have a certain perspective, just like we all do.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? We all here for a reason, so we all have a certain level and scope of perspective. What I'm saying is, there is an angle where the child, your son, your daughter, can always grow in a way that isn't congruent with what you want them to grow into, or who you want them to grow into be.
Now that shit is true.
And it's straight up facts. So to an extent, that's why I was talking to you about like my father's relationship. I know I am not. I know I haven't grown into who my father wants me to be, and that's why it's confliction there. It's like you want to respect somebody for being themselves and on their own, but then it's like, damn, is that who is best for him? That's the question.
But the question is what is he basing where he wants you to be on?
Just like on the flip side, is he even considering who I'm basing who I am on?
Right. Right.
Yeah, because your parents, they have a vision for you.
They have a vision
They
for
have a
you.
vision for you.
You have a vision for yourself.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So being a parent or not being a parent, just simply being alive, you can sit there and say, look, this is who I am. And you're coming into fatherhood. I'm not sure where you're at in fatherhood.
I got a 27-year-old daughter.
I don't have a kid. You know what I'm saying? So you about to be a granddaddy at some point.
I
if
am a
you're not.
granddaddy.
He is a
I am.
granddaddy.
Right.
Yeah.
So we can speak towards the levels of it. You know what I'm saying? Nessa is a mother. You know what I'm saying? Raising a man. This shit is real. You have to consider who somebody becomes, period. How do we gauge the levels of that? That's what we talking
But
about.
before you jump in, because the problem, not even like with my daughters, like it's like, all right, you talking about you raise somebody, you pour into them, you show them, and there's some things that she's done, and I'm like, I know this ain't for me. I promise you this ain't for me. I know you know better than this, and this shit is a reflection on me, and I'm hot. This is not no. So there's some shit that you can have the best of intentions, and again, I'm not saying I was the perfect parent by no means, but you can model, you can teach, you can show, and all that other stuff, and then they do some dumb shit.
Okay.
And it's like, where'd you get this from? But hopefully you have poured enough into them over the years that they can overcome, because children, especially girls in my world anyway, they go through some stage where you don't even know who the fuck they are at some point.
Oh, man.
You're like, I don't recognize this.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? So, but the good news is if you've raised them right,
They come back.
They come through it,
Okay.
and they turn out productive.
Nah.
Person.
And because I'm pretty sure that's what happened with me. You know what I'm saying? I've been through the shit, but I came through it, and I'm all right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
But see, let me ask you a question. I want to ask y'all a question. So, black fatherhood, right, and black masculinity, is that synonymous?
That's something that we have to address. The same thing I said outside. We have to look at it in a whole different way in this day and age.
I don't think so. in my
Explain.
opinion. I mean, because that black masculinity stuff can like steer kids in a different direction. So sometimes you this, you know, and this is a wild example, but like Magic Johnson. Now look, this is black masculinity.
EJ.
Right here, baby.
That's
this
not
is black masculinity right
He
here.
is not
This
black
is
masculinity. But go ahead.
But I'm saying he could have been thinking, this is black masculinity that I'm showing, that I'm portraying. This is black masculinity. This is what I'm displaying.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I might have some side bitches, but son, you know, this is black man. This is what we do. You know, this is what we deserve, blah, 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 blah. Why you got your mama shit on? What's going on?
Yeah.
So I'm just saying that sometimes just because you demonstrate a certain type of behavior, it could, and if you call it black masculinity, it doesn't transfer as parenting and to your seeds and your offspring.
No, I can understand that. But one thing is, a lot of times when I say black masculinity, we start thinking about the characters, like the characters of it. We're not talking about what actual black masculinity looks like. We let them say it's toxic. And now the only time you hear masculinity is if it's attached with the word toxic. You know what I'm saying? But so what I was trying.
It was never even used
until the word toxic was attached to it, right? So, but what I'm saying is, the question I was going to ask you is, if you would, let's say hypothetically, we all had sons. Black fatherhood can with the structure of black masculinity being your fatherhood, right? Is having a homosexual son deemed as a failure of your fatherhood?
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Again, it's so many other influences in this space. If it was you and your kid and that's it, maybe. But it's not. It's so many other factors. A lot of, you know. And as a kid, I was involved in a lot of activities. My parents kept me busy to keep me out of trouble. And I played a lot of sports. I was in Boy Scouts and all this other stuff. You have so many adults that, you know, influence you. Mm-hmm. You have so many, like, because as a kid, your parents are the lamest people in the world. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So you gravitate towards anybody else. Your mother could have told you something 1,000 times. Teacher say it once. The teacher said you brush your teeth every night.
It depends, though. My father was fly though. I give him that.
Yeah. No, my father's cool as shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
Just throwing that out there.
Yeah. I mean, but it's. I think it's just too many other variables. I don't think it's a formula. It's too many other, especially the internet, phone, all this other stuff.
So with
right
that
now.
being
There's too much
said,
access to
with that being said, there's nothing that you can do. There's nothing a kid can do that will deem your parenting as a failure. Then
like if your kid goes to the joint, does that deem your parenting a failure?
I don't know, because
That's
my
different. He
parents,
could go to the joint and be
my
gay.
parents felt pretty bad. Whoa, what are you talking about?
I'm just saying, like,
That nigga just threw some wild shit.
no,
What are you talking about?
on top of the element of going to jail. You know what I'm saying? You added the element of homosexuality with
He
a
said he
kid.
could be going to jail and be gay.
One at a time.
Right, nigga.
That's what I'm saying.
You tragically fucking this hypothetical son up, nigga.
He skipped it.
God damn, this nigga all fucked up.
He the one that threw the jail in there.
I'm just saying, what's it like? I'm trying to think of the difference, like, because people can be like, you know how, you know, in a family, you know, somebody, oh, he went away. You kind of, you know, try to cushion him. Oh, he'll be home soon. Where the nigga at? You know,
Yeah.
You know,
I don't know, man.
Speak around the shit,
'Cause
like people ashamed of it.
But when people, when I got arrested and for my bullshit, my father was highly disappointed in me. You know what I'm saying? But I think that, you know, the number one thing he was saying before he was about to whoop my ass was, nigga, you know, but I told you. Now you got the system about to be.
So I'm saying, so was your father a failure because you got?
I don't think he was a failure. But if that would have been the end of my story, I don't know how he would have felt. You know, I can't answer that.
I'm talking about feeling, but I mean, in your opinion and in other people's opinion, you know, is that a failure? I mean, just kicking, is that a failure?
Nah, because
you know,
I'm me personally, the way I'm built, I'm always gonna take responsibility for my actions. You know what I'm saying?
You personally, you'll take responsibility for what you do.
Yeah, but I'm just saying how the story would be. How, look from the observers, they might try to connect the shit without knowing what's going on. They might connect and be like, nah, somebody failed in his home. You know what I mean?
But I think it's the same way with homosexuality. You know, it might not be. It could have been who knows what happened, and I'm not an expert on homosexuality, so
Me neither.
so I'm back, you know, so I'm not saying it's a breakdown in the family structure. I'm not saying that shit happened. You know.
Why your voice had to change it all? Right. The breakdown of family structure. Nigga, that was a crazy sounding voice.
We've digressed somewhat.
I mean, people like it's different philosophies. People just born that way. You know, some people is like, you know, it's some steps that lead up to that shit. So, and I don't know enough about it. Okay. I haven't researched
about it.
Right. Sidebar. I had a thought. Sidebar. This. You know how?
Man, how do we digress? Go ahead.
I know. I just want to do sidebar.
Digression.
Why isn't that movie When They See Us not labeled a horror?
I ain't seen.
Shouldn't they label those movies a horror movie?
I mean, think about it. Like,
It was a thriller, right?
I think they said it's like a drama. I think it was like a suspense drama.
But that's one of the things that are like that we don't understand about how. I really we can go into the conversation of white supremacy. Like, we don't need to relive our trauma, bruh.
Yeah, I don't want to see the shit.
Oh, you ain't see the shit?
No, I'm a watch. I'm a watch.
You remember how you talked about you ain't watch it? I started watching it and I thought about it, I was like.
But I watched it and I got fully depressed for a whole day. It was
That's
bad.
what I'm saying. I mean,
What the fuck I want to see it again for? Like, you know how much stuff you can show me?
Because the thing is, it's like it's not going to teach me anything. I'm like, yeah, I know this shit.
What you gonna learn how to not be classified as a rapist and you're innocent?
I felt like, you know what I'm saying, I had to watch it because them niggas lived that shit.
I'm gonna watch it. I am gonna watch it. But I gotta set aside the time to set aside the emotional space.
That's what I did. I did that. No,
I don't. Like,
I woke up early one Sunday morning. Yeah. I even played Kirk Franklin on the phone and shit. I got my soul right for that shit. And then I sat there and I watched that shit, dog. And I'm telling you right now, that shit was depressing, man, dog. But as I was watching it, I was looking at the little info, and that shit said, I think it said suspense drama, and I was thinking like, this is a fucking horror movie, nigga. Like, why is this not a horror shit? This should be a horror, realistic horror. That's what that shit should be called.
Yeah.
But I didn't mean to digress like that, but I just thought about that, nigga.
I ain't mad at that description, that depiction.
Yeah. How about I'll put it out there for the world, man. Stop calling all those movies about brothers being done wrong. Those are realistic horrors.
But think about it, like watching it, like they're monetizing off of our trauma.
Oh, that's all the time. That's every day.
We missing it.
Oh, that's all the time, every day.
Even like we you know, like I told you,
we do that to each other
when we chopping up all this footage. Oh, excuse me. You know what I'm saying? Like when I'm looking at chopping up footage from Krown 360, and I see certain clips when we talk about like police brutality. They like that's the quote that I told you I seen. They monetizing off of it.
Oh yeah.
You're promoting the police killing people simply by sharing the videos.
Yeah, trying to get them likes.
Yeah, I could see. But that's like a double-edged sword, isn't it? Because it's like you want exposure to this shit, but then at the same time, it's like you are kind of like making this shit
on one end. You see the
trend,
exposure growing one way. You don't see the exposure growing on the way of sharing it and the police brutality stopping. That's what we discussed a couple weeks ago. Mm-hmm. It's not stopping. So if you sharing it, you know what I'm saying? Me sharing it, anybody sharing it.
Yeah, it's time for another action. It's time for another set of action.
Yeah, I'm not mad at recording the police brutality and all that. If I see a video and I see two young black girls squaring up, I can't watch that.
Oh yeah,
That shit does something to my soul every time.
Yeah, but I'm gonna tell you, man. No matter what, I always see more videos of us doing some despicable shit to each other more than I see. Like, and I hate to say that shit because we seeing more and more police fucking us up frequently on it. But I see more videos of us doing despicable shit to each other, man. And it makes me think like, what the fuck is it gonna take for niggas just to realize that before you start looking at who the fuck you think the enemy is, nigga, we're the worst enemies to ourselves.
We posed this question before, so let's spin it in a different narrative. Again, they monetizing off of it. Mm-hmm. Not only are we, are facing our demise in our face, they monetizing off the shit.
Yeah, man.
They making money off of us being killed in front of ourselves because we still spending our money where? We still, having certain group activities in a certain direction.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like what we talked about. It's like when you realize that as a group of people, they ain't no we, they ain't no us, ain't no French, like we've been saying.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
How do you live your life?
Bro, let me ask you that.
Do you live your life to impact and potentially be a martyr like Nipsey was?
Man, listen.
Or do you live in the direction of, man, I'm going to take care of me and mine? My lineage, whatever that may be. Like, I mean, the gray area in between, that shit, is different person to person.
Bro, if niggas that know me, they know I always been a nigga that's been for the people, talking that black power shit. But nigga, more and more I'm realizing is that the mindset of our people is so broken down, and I hate to use the word toxic, but it's so toxic that and understanding that there is no we, that now I only focus on the circle that is in my life existing at the moment. And I can't think about we as a collective because it's too much, it's too many motherfuckers that look like me that don't think like me. You know what I'm saying? And these niggas, and not just because they don't think like me, because it's niggas that don't see value within themselves. And they become a cancer once you start trying to care about them niggas. You know what I'm saying? And that I'm starting to notice that.
So when you talk about change within our community, amongst our people, I ain't gonna say do you realize, but do we understand how much of a responsibility it is on person to person for the change to happen? That whole leadership complex, savior complex.
Yeah.
Can't nobody save us.
Nah. If
anybody understands anything from a systemic standpoint, is that we literally have to change what we're doing from a behavior standpoint. Mm-hmm. We've talked about like relationships, fatherhood, and you know what I'm saying, like even significance being on a corporate level from the NBA draft. Mm-hmm. But where's the value at within the household?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
But that's what I was about to say. It's if you sit a black person down, if you take them outside of their regular routine and you sit them down in a room and you just talk to them, 9 times, I'm gonna say a good 7 times out of 10, a brother gonna have the same. He gonna say the same shit as everybody else. Like he don't want no problems. He just want to live life good. You don't know why niggas ain't doing this. But if you put that nigga back in his routine, bro, mm-hmm. like you'll see like. Niggas is in routinely being toxic towards each other. You know what I'm saying? Don't even know. And I'm gonna tell you, don't ever try to tell a nigga that, hey, bro, you ain't supposed to be doing that, bro. Niggas do not like to be told anything. They don't want to be told that they living wrong, that they thinking wrong, that they doing wrong. Niggas don't want to be told shit.
Yeah, because part of the thing is, a lot of times you see some cats and you figure out it's the day-to-day. Like, is it worth this struggle today? Y'all gonna do this right here, right now? I mean, am I gonna walk into a group, 8 or 9 niggas, and be like, y'all gonna roll dice and smoke weed and do this right here, right now?
Yeah.
Or, do I want this struggle? I'm gonna mind my fucking business today. Yeah. And continue,
Because at the end of the day, Hunter sent me a video with little girl playing on the corner. She's dancing or doing something. Woman recording it. All of a sudden, gunshots go pop, pop, pop. The little girl start running. The mother's laughing. Look at she do this all summer.
Mm-hmm.
So
it was another instance where the police weren't even involved.
That's crazy.
Like the caption to the video was like, like what the summer gonna be like, and it was a little girl. It was around the way, you know what I'm saying? Because I seen somebody shared it from a Kenton page, the comedian, right?
Yeah.
So that's where I seen it from, and that's when I sent it to you. I'm like, damn, this shit wild, bro.
Yeah.
Like, how is that funny?
Yeah.
How the fuck is a little girl running from gunshots funny?
That's what I'm saying.
It's
bro.
like we complain we complain when the trauma happens in the hood, but you have a literal video footage shot of a little girl hearing a gunshot or what sounds like gunshot, even if it wasn't a gunshot. Mm-hmm. Her behavior response is to run, and somebody recording her. That's not protection. When we talk about protecting our community, when we post that question, who's supposed to
protecting your own kids?
Yes.
First,
people are chasing the social media likes, the shares, the gratification that comes from something frivolous when it comes to life.
Yeah, man.
Come on, man.
Yeah, we seeing it more and more, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think about that us shit no more, bro, because I know it ain't no us. Now, what I won't do is I'm not gonna be in the way of any progress. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna be the nigga talking about we don't need reparations. Like, I hate niggas like that. Nah, I ain't gonna be like that. You know what I'm saying? But
if we can get it,
Yeah, nigga,
Crown 360, Big Rodney.
Me and Hunter go up to Lucky 7.
Yeah.
Nigga,
I be there with you, nigga. Fucking talk. You and Hunter, nigga. I can go. The fuck. Hey, but I'm gonna tell you right now. But hey, you know damn well they ain't giving niggas no reparations.
But
you know that shit, right?
Even that conversation with reparations,
it's some bullshit.
You still asking. Still asking.
It's some bullshit.
You still asking.
Because you know it's going to be $50. You know they going to get niggas $50 checks.
Keep it
gift cards in the mail and shit.
Why y'all taxing my $50?
Dirty motherfuckers. Dirty motherfuckers. I'm trying to tell you. You know that shit going to be some bullshit, bro.
Reparations with taxes.
Bro,
niggas don't even talk about the tax part.
I know, right? Right. Dog, you trying. It's going to be fucked up. You know it ain't going to be nothing that's going to be respectable, bro. That's why I'm like, niggas, you know what? The moment, the day I start thinking about we as black people will be the day we start realizing that we are the number one problem. We start realizing we gotta fix we, then I'm we again. But until that nigga, I'm me and mine, nigga. I'll stick to you and yours. I'm with me and mine. Fuck that shit. You know what I'm saying?
It's me and mine's first.
Yeah.
And then if I got any bandwidth left, then we'll see.
I show love, but see,
we'll see.
I show love though.
Sure.
I show love, but the thing about it though is I'm starting to learn even more, bro. Is that our people. For instance, I'm about to have a baby, right? You know what I'm saying? I've shared that joint with a couple people, and I've noticed a couple people really wasn't happy like that. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is, and I'm talking about black people, you know what I'm saying? And it's nothing to be unhappy about, but it's sometimes about us as black people. We don't like seeing people that look like us happy, because when somebody look like us, I'm going to say, when somebody look like us smiles, it reminds us why we're not smiling. That's how we think. You know what I'm saying? And not all of us. I'm just saying collectively, this is how we treat each other. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know if niggas ain't got the heart to say, or niggas just want to keep that a secret. But a lot of us are not happy seeing us happy, nigga. And then on the flip side, a lot of us don't know how to be happy. You know what I'm saying?
But that's problems with the person though. That whoever
Exactly.
started and they don't exhibit a pure joy for you. That's something going on with them.
Yes.
That's some shit that they.
Yes.
You know,
Absolutely.
Yes.
You know,
Factuals.
so I had some
Factuals.
things going on in my life. I was halfway balling. You know,
Yeah.
you know, people. Yo, I'm doing this. I'm doing that. They was like, that's cute.
Yeah, yeah, that's cute, right?
Excuse me.
That's cute.
I'm doing it big.
Yeah, you ain't put your hands on like that.
I'm doing a
is-
little something.
Yeah, and they hit you with the
That's
What time
No,
is it?
no.
But I, you know, I had to explain. Look, they ain't got nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
Something they go. It's just, you know.
Yeah.
Right.
And not like I'm saying talking about like just I'm talking about close friends. And
Yes,
family.
but see,
Like,
hold on, I want to say this, and that's where I've learned from that because it taught me that when you got things that's precious that you hold dear, you can't share that with people that you think that look like you, because those be the ones that be trying to wish hell on your shit, on your heaven. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and I learned that from bumping my head, like trying to figure out why this motherfucker looking like that. Like I knocked this nigga out. It ain't even about all that. It's about me. I shouldn't even be sharing my heaven with motherfuckers who think with hell. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah.
Yeah, you just gotta keep grinding, doing you.
Yeah.
And you know, and then but don't present that same energy back. You know, still welcoming.
Oh, yeah,
energy,
yeah,
love.
yeah,
You
yeah,
still
yeah.
love.
See, that's something I've been
Look.
thinking about.
Yeah.
Bitch, you can ball too.
Because
There's room for all of us. You know,
Bitch, you can ball too.
right? You know, and you put that energy out there.
Yeah.
And hopefully they, you know, you lead with that giving energy, and they can.
But let me ask.
But see that
Okay,
there's
man.
a passiveness to that. To a sense, it's like, well, damn, it's like, how do you protect your peace? See, you can't provide something you don't have. So even from a peace, support, love standpoint, that's why, you know, when you face those conflicting relationships from whoever they are, but generally it's the people closest to you
that look like you. Go ahead.
that look like you that we talking about. It's like, damn, how do you gauge that? You know what I'm saying? Because you looking at somebody and you thinking, damn, that's the person that's supposed to be supporting you.
Right. Damn.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And then a lot of times when you achieve a milestone, it's not really all about you. You want to celebrate with your family, your people close to you. Like, look, this is for us. You know.
Were they shooting when you was in the gym?
Right.
Shooting shots.
Right.
Right.
Were they outside knowing that they had a ticket to get in the gym when you made all the shots?
Yeah.
And was the same people that was willing to throw the ticket away when you missed them?
But I mean, I want to answer that because you say it's kind of passive, right? But this is the thing: you kind of, in a way, for your peace's sake, you kind of once you understand how we became where we at right now mentally, then you kind of got to understand and give people they pass, bro, because some of these motherfuckers are beyond help, beyond reproach. You can't talk no sense to them. So sometimes you just gotta say that's just where they at and just keep it moving. And the way that you figure that out is through experience, through age and wisdom and learning discernment. The balance of learning discernment and how to read vibes and read when somebody is like I said, I picked up on the vibe. And when I show a picture of somebody and he like saying, oh, okay. I ain't gotta show you no more. I ain't gotta say, but hold on, picture this, but this one gonna get you though.
Right.
Nah, okay.
But the person that you show the picture to, doesn't matter who they are and their opinion of the picture. That's what I'm talking about.
But this is what I'm trying to tell you.
It does.
It does.
It does, but it shouldn't. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It shouldn't at the end of the day, because what did he say in the beginning? Fathers are people. So that means, but I mean, that's anybody.
Shit.
But that's anybody.
That's
we all
anybody.
people. So
People are people.
if you know our people, you know that we got mental illness. So what I'm saying is the closest people that look like us are fucked up. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is you got to give us passes sometimes, especially when you're learning about protecting your peace and you're learning that everybody is not happy for you, and you're learning that in growth, these are just things you have to be aware of.
To Joe's point, you can't let that scenario paralyze you. So if you come across somebody,
But people
and you
do.
but
But
you
it's
can't
not
on a
right.
regular
It's
basis.
not
you can't
right.
be like,
Right.
this is my mother, this is my father, this is my sister, this is my brother. They should be happiest for me, but they hating. I ain't talking about best friends. I'm talking about immediate family. They might be hating. So thank God I ain't never experienced that. but you can have scenarios like that. But you can't let it paralyze you. You gotta, and that shit hurts. You be like, okay, boom, gut punch.
Yeah.
You know, I got drunk last night, and that's it.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna keep it moving.
Right.
I'm gonna try to still deal with it, but you can't be like, you know, I ain't gonna go to the studio no more. I ain't gonna go to the gym no more.
Yeah.
Because, you know,
Yeah.
Pops, you know.
Yeah.
Look.
Yeah.
I wish he was on the train, but motherfucking train gonna leave the station regardless.
Because at the end of the day, my nigga, one thing I'm learning about is that niggas think they know God, but they don't. Because the thing about it is, if you truly had a relationship with the Most High, you wouldn't even be focused on who the fuck outside of you making you feel any kind of way. That the biggest support system that we all should be focused on is how we support ourselves. But the problem is we look for outer validation because we know that we don't know how to validate ourselves inwardly. And I'm speaking out of example because I think a lot of us as black people, we have to learn how to love ourselves. You know what I'm saying? We got to learn how to love our families. We got to learn because we so in the pit with each other fighting and we going through a lot of shit. So what I'm saying is through learning, bro, comes a lot of shit, bro.
But learning isn't synonymous with life. Unfortunately, it's one of those things that is granted in a sense. Okay. Everybody doesn't learn.
Everybody ain't gonna pick up.
Like a quote I've never forgot. It's like wisdom isn't in the age of man; it's in the mind of man.
Yeah.
You gotta work to know better.
Yeah, I'm with you.
You gotta work to understand. You gotta work to grow. It just don't happen. And that's why you have such confliction within our community because you got people that's learning to, like, again, Nip is a perfect example. How he walked, like the nigga was in his neighborhood. He knew he could die. But he understood what the power of what he was doing would do to impact other people.
Yeah, yeah.
Are we willing to sacrifice to that extent? Person to person, we not. That's why it's not duplicated.
Right.
That's why the community doesn't grow in the impact that he had.
Right. Nah, because
it's in the whole other extent. We see people dying every day. That's what we talking about. We see on footage and on camera, people looking at people getting their ass whooped, people getting shot, people getting killed.
Yeah.
What matters more is who shares it first.
Right.
Who get the most likes.
Hell, yeah.
Yeah, that's sick.
Dumb shit.
Sick ass shit. Sick ass
It
shit.
turns into a sound bite of life.
I got one sidebar before we get about it. Is Will Smith Professor X? Y'all know Professor X is on X-Men?
What?
Yeah.
Is Will Smith? You think Will Smith may be a mutant?
No, hold on.
He's not.
Will Smith being Professor X and a mutant is two different things.
No, Professor X is a mutant.
Professor X is
a
he's the
mutant.
Greg Popovich of mutants. He was leading.
Yeah. But he was the most powerful because and the reason why I say this because I think Will Smith has the meanest mind control power of all.
How?
If it was two motherfuckers that I could go and have dinner with, and pick their brain and have a conversation, one would be Will Smith, the other would be Oprah Winfrey.
Now you want to talk to Oprah?
How you want to talk to two bitches you can't fuck? Excuse me.
Hold up, two bitches.
I ain't
What you
talking about.
You trying to fuck Will Smith? What are you talking about?
That was like the whole inner me type of thing that just came out. My bad.
I
was thinking about dinner and two people.
I'm talking about getting to the next level because I think they understand life. I think they have, like as far as example, for like movie roles and shit, like Will, like nobody knew Will Smith is an actor. He's a rapper,
right?
Then he decided this is what I want to do, and what I've heard about Will Smith, I don't know the nigga. What I've heard about him is that nigga like literally damn it thinks he can do anything,
But that's what I wanted to say because the nigga is about. It looked like he's gearing up to do a rap album. It looked like him and Jazzy Jeff were back in the mix working on some shit. And my thing is, my nigga, I'm going to buy that album.
Hold on.
Will Smith is. I'm going to buy it.
Are we talking about Will Smith?
Right. He's still the Fresh Prince.
Are we talking about Will Smith being a great rapper?
Rapper.
He's a good rapper. Don't stop. Don't do that. Don't.
Right.
He's
I'm an old nigga.
Don't do that. Like, come on.
We old niggas.
Yo, look.
Fuck you, man.
You saw my blinker, bitch. That's an old Will Smith song. That's an old Will Smith song.
Where does Will Smith fit at in great rapper conversation?
Who said great? He's really good though.
Will Smith is.
So you ducked that one.
But him and Jazzy won the first Grammy.
Why is he hating on Will Smith?
Hip hop. I mean, Will was not a lyricist, but he had his lane.
Yeah.
He had his lane.
Yeah.
And he in the world of hip hop,
Absolutely true.
He opened doors.
I just think this nigga can't take no L, son. He doesn't take a L. Anything that happens to him, it's a win. The dude tried to kiss him in an interview. He smacks him. It's a win.
That was a tap.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
That was a tap.
He just said, and then nobody was like everybody was like, oh, look how he smacked him. Like, Will Smith can't do no wrong.
The fact he tried to kiss you, he knew you were sweet.
Bro, his son dresses and
public,
shit. His son say he's gay or whatever the fuck he is.
No, that's a whole nother
Will Smith,
Yeah.
Will Smith don't take no L's, dog. You know what? I would love to have the dinner with that nigga too. No bullshit.
Like,
I respect the hell out of Will Smith.
I heard when Jamie Foxx was doing Ray, Jamie, stop fucking around now, dog. You know, when I was doing Ali, you know how I got into shape, nigga. You got to get your shit together.
Yeah.
Boom, Jamie Foxx, he get the Oscar.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like Will. I think he has the formula.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I think he has just for like life.
He's captivating everything he does, bro.
I think he has the formula for. Go back. Ain't no nigga perfect. I ain't saying he's a perfect.
Nah, he probably weird as shit.
We already know. We already know nobody's perfect.
I'm just saying. I think he got some shit figured out. Him and Oprah. I think they got some shit figured out.
More than Jay.
I think Oprah's an agent though. I don't give a fuck nobody.
But I'm also thinking about. But I think on a spiritual level, I think they.
Oh, don't say that because they Scientology like a motherfucker. You about to scare me now, nigga.
But I think
Mr. Illuminati over here, nigga.
I think I think like spiritually, like as far as giving to the universe and when it gives back to you and all that type of shit.
Oh shit! Now you want
to
throw
now
you want to throw the fucking chakras in the mix now. You getting real saucy over here, nigga.
Yeah. But I like to hear him out. I ain't gonna say I'm gonna leave that motherfucker and be, shamala and all this other shit. I'm just saying I like to hear the motherfuckers out because they figured some shit out that I haven't.
Yeah, facts.
Which is what?
They got the bag and a half.
See,
that's what they figured the fuck out.
You know
that shit out yet.
You know what's a digressive?
He want the bag and a half.
Shit.
He don't want just the bag. He want the and a half, nigga.
Shit, I'll take the bag.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I'll take the and a half. I get the and a half.
Oh, how do we measure success? That's the question.
Success is what you make it.
And it ain't about the paper.
Bag and a half.
It ain't all about the paper, but the paper helps.
We mentioned the Smith kids.
We all want to be in a different tax bracket. Let's not
paper
act like that.
Do people want fame? Do people want happiness or fulfillment?
Everybody's different.
A lot of people want. I think more niggas want fame than money. I think some.
Do people even understand what they want?
No.
Not all people.
No.
Do people even understand what they want? Nah. Fuck what they want. Do they understand it?
Nah. That's not even a part of the equation of wanting something. You just want it. You don't even gotta understand it first. Niggas just want the shit.
How do we put a person at a barometer of success for individuals? There's no way possible Will Smith can be the barometer of success for anybody other than him.
I think he got some shit figured out.
All I'm saying is the nigga does everything. He does it not only just well, but he makes people want to buy. The nigga, dog, he hasn't rapped in 20 years, I think, dog. And the nigga's about to put out an album, and I'm telling you, I'm gonna buy this shit.
You know, this rappers always rap. Rappers always rap.
He might
not have been doing it publicly.
He's been putting shit out over the years.
Yeah,
but again,
so you say he's been in the back, he's just writing little shit. I give you that.
This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying about Will Smith. We can't pull Will Smith out of the hip hop rap conversation from a ranking standpoint because of all the other accolades he has as a person, as a father.
Why do you want to rank him?
Put that nigga in the mix with everybody else.
He's not in the mix with everybody.
That's the problem.
He's in a class of his own.
Oh, Will Smith and Jazzy Jeff got something coming out. All right, cool.
Okay, time out.
Just him and DJs got shit coming out.
Time out.
You a rapper.
Flow Rider. Who's putting him on anybody's list?
Nobody.
But Flow Rider,
he has a certain level of success.
Hunter don't do that.
I'm not.
He got the bag and a half off the money, off the
Don't
music.
do that to Will Smith.
Everybody here
Don't do it to Will Smith.
I'm not a hater.
Don't do that.
I'm not coming from a place of hate.
I can't tell. I can't tell.
I navigate the avenues and streets of devil advocacy.
Okay.
As if I created them.
Look.
I'm cruising down the street
Will
right now.
Smith
That's all I'm
He's gonna
saying.
block you off his Instagram.
That's cool.
He's not happy
That's
for
cool.
me.
That's cool.
He's not happy for me.
Out in the red table talk.
Oh, this nigga sick. Okay, we let's get about it.
He gonna slide up beside Jada, huh? Here you go.
Look though, hey yo, this has been an awesome episode. This has been an awesome episode, man. We have my nigga Rodney in the place.
We had the producer on the
Next
show.
year on the show, we gotta go another 12 months.
Excuse me, this is a year and a half in the making.
Yo,
See y'all in 12
Not
months.
12 months.
yo.
It's like 19 months,
They
2
gave me no
weeks, and
tequila.
4 days.
I
yeah.
ain't had no Jameson.
I know. Hey, look.
I'm still talking shit.
We gonna have you coming back. You know what I'm saying? We gonna have the homie AP next week. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
we chilling, bro. We gonna have a great time though. But I'm gonna tell you, Rodney, don't make it another year, man.
Bring me back for the cipher.
Bet we gonna do that.
Back
Summer,
Right.
hold on. So this how I'm leaving out the show tonight, right? All right. So
Oh shit.
Summer Cypher, we need to do it. It's the beginning of the summertime.
Let's do it.
Summer was last week. I think it should
Summer
be.
started last week.
Yeah.
Okay.
21st, yeah.
I think it should be 2 ciphers this summer, like a summer 1, summer 2. You know, like one like before July is out and one before Labor Day.
Let's do it.
So, you know what I'm saying? Like, I got some guys in mind. I ain't saying no names right now.
Let's do it. Let's do
Beats, rappers, hit us up.
it. Yeah.
Let's link.
DM. You know what I'm saying?
Summer Cypher, Krown 360 Summer Ciphers. That's all I got to say.
Let's get it.
On that note, man, holla at y'all niggas next week. Easy.